Patience usually makes sense. It keeps you from moving too early, from forcing something that isn't ready, from acting just to release tension. So it stays. But patience only works for a while. And the problem isn't that patience becomes wrong, is that nothing marks the moment it stops applying. So waiting can continue after it stops helping, without registering as a change at all. You don't decide to keep wanting again. Nothing happens that would require a new choice. The situation stays mostly the same. Not good, not bad enough. So patience just remains. You keep holding the same stance, not because you're evaluating it, because nothing interrupts it. Waiting doesn't feel active anymore. It doesn't feel like anything. And because nothing breaks, nothing has to be checked. At this point, it feels settled. You're not stuck. Nothing is obviously wrong. Nothing is pushing you to move. From the inside, it doesn't register as inertia. It registers as steadiness. Like staying where you are instead of making a move that would introduce noise. Nothing demands urgency. Nothing demands certainty. And as long as that's true, patience still seems like the correct stance to hold. This is usually where the stance starts being examined. Patience isn't doing what it used to do anymore. It's not buying clarity. It's not creating space. It's not helping you see anything new. It's just keeping the situation from forcing a decision. Waiting hasn't been neutral for a while. It's been holding the line in place. Not because the line is correct, but because crossing it would require acknowledging that the conditions have already shifted. So patience stays active even after the reason for it is gone. And at that point, it's no longer a strategy, it's a delay. Nothing changes on the surface. You keep showing up the same way. You keep holding the same position. The situation keeps staying just manageable enough. But something stays engaged. A part of your attention never fully drops. Not in the way that you notice, not in the way that you describe. It's just there, ready, tracking. You don't feel tense. You don't feel stressed. You don't feel like you're waiting on purpose anymore. But you also don't fully settle. Each day requires a small adjustment. Not a decision, not a correction, just a slight recalibration to keep things aligned. You absorb it without comment. You move past it without stopping. And because it works, you don't question the effort. The stance holds, the system stays upright. But it takes a little more presence each time, a little more monitoring, a little less slack. Not enough to register a strain, just enough to keep something from ever switching off. And because nothing breaks, there's no moment where that cost becomes visible. It's simply carried forward. There isn't a moment where patience clearly fails. There's just a change in how much it takes to maintain. How quickly the adjustment starts. How little space is there between noticing and compensating. How much attention stays engaged afterward. You don't track this with rules. You track it with effort. Not because you're watching closely, because the stance no longer holds itself. It requires presence to stay intact.